our live ships.
Understood, Admiral Ron. We're almost at the server. Keep us posted. What's our status?
We remain undetected on encrypted geth channels. Resistance is likely only within the server.
Within? It's that big?
You misunderstand. Direct virtual interface is necessary to extract geth from the server. You must enter our consensus.
You want me to virtually interact with the geth?
That's one way to get their attention. If it doesn't kill you.
If it saves the live ships, we've got to try it.
Intervention is necessary to preserve creator forces. This platform can enter the facility undetected. We will assemble the necessary equipment before your arrival.
Wait, you're not going to...
I guess it just did.
This is it?
Yes. Hostile geth fighter squadrons are networked to this server. Due to restricted resources, it is best if you connect alone.
Let's do it.
Initiating peer network integration. Proceed to docking port. Mapping to consensus. Remain still. Shepard Commander, access movement during an upload is discouraged. Upload complete. Consensus integration holding.
What is this?
We've installed filters to allow you to make visual sense of this server's raw data. Your mind perceives our world as something familiar.
I wouldn't call this familiar. Where are you?
Here,
You look... different.
we have made ourselves visually distinct for your convenience.
What about Geth already in here?
You will perceive geth as surveillance footage, audio logs, sensor records. We do not require bodies, as our software communes. Our hardware is merely a tool. This is our true world. As we remove geth, it will grow dark.
This is like wiping out a city, isn't it?
Action is necessary. There are 2 communication nodes on the server. We must access them to disable the hostile geth's fighters. We will safeguard your exit port while remotely monitoring your progress. Establishing connection to access point. This foreign code is a manifestation of the old mission signal.
You're surprised the Reapers are all over your servers?
No, continue to the access point. Warning, connection blocked by infected code. Use our combat software to disrupt the infection.
I wondered what the gun was for. Okay, I've got to ask. Why a gun?
We have noted your affinity for firearms.
Then thanks, I think.
Connection established. Proceed to the access point. Establishing connection to communication node. Error. Access denied.
Is the Reaper keeping you out?
Unknown. You must investigate. Warning. Reaper presence detected. Data cluster contains infected code. We require access to proceed. We cannot proceed until we gain access to this data cluster. Accessing data cluster.
What is this?
Data clusters contain historical data. Your connection permits streaming of information from our archives. You must disrupt the infection on this data cluster to continue. Timestamped 290 years ago. It is still capable of survey.
You see? It's ignoring all shutdown commands.
When specifying that it failed assigned tasks, we will reprogram.
Well, let's take a look.
Research, this unit is ready to serve. What has it done wrong?
Let's cut the audio.
You may proceed to the last data cluster. Accessing data cluster.
We've got escaped gap. They're pinned. Open fire.
So who won?
The platform arming itself was an agricultural unit. By opening fire on attacking creators, it saved simpler domestic geth following it. The creators were determined to destroy our hardware. We were determined to survive. Establishing connection with the remaining server node.
Hello, Commander. Are you there?
Kinda. What's your situation, Admiral Ron?
The guest squadrons have arrived, but something is amiss. Half their fighters have stopped functioning. We will continue to hold out as long as we can.
How are we doing?
One node remains.
What's wrong?
Infection programs are increasing. We have restabilized. You must continue. Warning, the Reaper infection has learned to self-replicate.
You mean it grows back?
Yes. However, disrupting vulnerable points of the infection may slow down its replication. We require access to this data cluster. Disrupt Reaper infections to proceed. Shepard Commander, target the vulnerable points of the infection to slow its replication speed. You must search for a vulnerable point in the infection. Disrupting it will slow the infection's ability to replicate. There is a vulnerable point further along the infection. Target this spot to slow its growth toward the data cluster. Access granted.
Out of the way!
You can't do this to them!
I said step away from the gap!
This is insane! We need the guests! You can't just destroy them for asking...
Time's up! Throw her in with the others.
Looks like the war wasn't popular with everyone.
A few creators attempted mediation. They failed. cannot establish a connection without access to this data cluster. There is a vulnerable point on the infection leading to the data cluster. Disrupt the infection at this spot. It will slow regrowth long enough to access the data cluster. We cannot establish a connection without access to this data cluster. Commander, target the vulnerable points of the infection to slow its replication speed. You must search for a vulnerable point in the infection. Disrupting it will slow the infection's ability to replicate. There is a vulnerable point further along the infection. Target this spot to slow its growth toward the data cluster. There is a vulnerable point on the infection leading to the data cluster. Disrupt the infection at this spot. It will slow regrowth long enough to access the data cluster. Commander, target the vulnerable points of the infection to slow its replication speed. New data found. This data comes from the period during which the creators declared martial law.
Units, and come out of the safe house. This is your final warning.
Creator Megara, this unit does not understand. It has not taken part in hostilities.
I need to get you out of here.
This conflict exceeds Creator's safety parameters. We will surrender our hardware if it ends hostilities.
No, it's all right. We'll go back to the access tunnel then. Oh!
Creator Megara, what is your status? Creator Megara? The Creators never formally ended hostilities. They have officially been at war with the Geth for 291 years. Accessing data. This is data from the end of warfare on Rannoch.
The Ultral is down. Do not engage the Geth. I repeat, avoid contact.
Geth pursuit is breaking off 100 clicks past Rannoch. All captains fall back to the mass relay.
This isn't happening now?
It is timestamped 290 years ago. It is the Creator Exodus at the end of the Morning War. We had secured freedom. The Creators were no longer a threat, so we abandoned pursuit.
Wait. The Geth spared the last Quarians? You let them go?
Our future was uncertain. Our networking was primitive. We stayed within our limits. Connection with the remaining server nodes established. We are ready to transport you.
Something's happening to the Geth. The fighter squadrons have stopped, but detect no more active programs inside their ships. Admiral Hangarl's fleet is driving them back. The live ships are safe, Commander.
Root access acquired, severing all connections to this communication node. Geth no longer reside on this server. We may now exit the consensus.
What's wrong?
You must proceed to the core and disconnect from mother. Terminating remote access. Removing programs. Deleting archives.
Shepard, you all right?
Did it work?
Geth fighters have been disabled. Any remaining squadrons attacking the live ships have withdrawn. The server is offline.
Are you sure? What's happening?
We have transferred geth programs from the server into these platforms.
Why?
They wish to join us.
I knew it. You know, your Geth buddy's gone nuts.
While Shepard Commander removed the Reaper infection, we judged we could persuade hostile geth programs to reunite with ours. We were correct. These geth have renounced the old machines and will oppose the Reapers. They are now us.
They're welcome to sign on. The Reapers will put up a tough enough fight.
We are aware geth are capable of calculating odds of victory over the old machines.
What are the odds?
We are still compiling.
You could have said, don't ask. Let's get back to the Normandy.
Impressive, Commander. The Geth squadrons attacking our live ships have been completely neutralized. If there is any chance we could duplicate the feat, I would be happy to lend my expertise.
You'd have to ask the Geth we found if you're looking for other servers.
I thought as much, but your Geth claims to have no data available whenever I inquire. Perhaps you can help me with something else.
What's that?
How did you get Geth Primes to work with you?
They volunteered.
I see. Well, should you wish to examine these Geth to confirm their new allegiance, please do not hesitate to contact me. Zen out.